Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, I have an announcement to make. No, I'm not about to pee on the moon. Thanks for asking, though. I am about to tell you, though, that I just watched Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in theaters, and... Your Honor, it's peak. This is not an exaggeration. I do actually believe that it is the best video game movie to exist. Up until 2024 on December 20th, I do believe it is the best video game movie to exist. It has blown every single video game movie out of the water. Period. Enough said. Now, I do think in the future, it is entirely possible it could be dethroned, but the bar is high now. This movie adapts a story in a way that just feels good. It just feels good. If there is a movie to defeat the reputation of video game movies being bad, it is this movie. Like, it kind of looks back at all those other video game movies that have existed in the world and it goes, nah, actually, you can make a video game movie and make it really good, while also staying faithful and true to the spirit of the source material. And that is so important. Now, this video right here that you have clicked on is spoiler free. I will be making another video that has spoilers because I do have some in-depth thoughts about this movie that will require me to spoil some of it in order to talk about. So that will be a different video. If you have not seen the movie yet and you don't want spoilers, this is the video for you. Feel free to watch the other one when it's made and after you have seen the movie. B-roll footage, come here. Psst, 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 psst. Where to begin? This movie, you obviously know that I really enjoyed it. I think Keanu Reeves was the perfect choice for Shadow. I know people went crazy with the memes, but I don't think there was ever a sense of doubt that he would do really good. I do feel like he put in a lot of effort as Shadow, and he really went above and beyond. And you can tell. You can tell. The interviews with him, he obviously talks about how much he studied and tried to really get into Shadow's character, and you can feel that in his performance. He does a really good job. I honestly think everyone did a really good job. I feel like everything in terms of casting and in line delivery was really well done. Jim Carrey does a good job. I know he's always stolen the show as Eggman. He does a really good job here. I think everyone, though, did such a good job that it's not that Jim Carrey felt like he did worse. It's just that everyone did such a good job that the movie didn't feel like it was carried by Jim Carrey. Pun only kind of intended. And I say that mostly because a lot of people have said that in the past, that he carries the films tremendously. I don't agree nor disagree. I think he does a really good job in the first two movies. I don't know if he's the only quote unquote thing carrying those movies though. That's just my kind of hot take on the other two. I think there's a lot of good stuff in the first two movies, but I do think movie 3 is a whole different level compared to the first two. I know some people were concerned about the humor, but I honestly thought the humor was on point. I feel like it's a movie that there's some obviously really sad parts in it. You know, if you've even seen the trailers and you know anything about Shadow's backstory, you know that it's going to have some very sad stuff, but it's a movie that you're also laughing a lot to. There's some jokes for the parents for sure, and there's some jokes that are obviously, kind of more aimed for the kids. There's a lot of pop culture references and stuff like that, and I kind of worried it would be too much, but to me, it never felt that way. It never felt like it overstayed its welcome. The humor was it was abundant, but it felt evenly spaced, and it felt like nothing was really lingered on, so it didn't feel overbearing. If I had to critique anything about this movie, it would be a little bit of the pacing, a few writing choices that as soon as you start actually thinking about it, it makes no sense. And honestly, this will be a hot take, but I could have done with 10% less Jim Carrey. Not that he did a bad job. There were just a lot of Eggman scenes, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think they could have dialed it back 10% and used that 10% to kind of give other characters screen time. And really, that's it. There's a few edits here and there that kind of felt jarring, And it's more of like, okay, you have one scene where one thing is happening and then you like cut over to another scene and then you like cut back to another scene. And like that scene in the middle was just like so tonally different and it interrupted something otherwise very serious. That was a little weird, but I don't really hold that like super hard against the movie. It happened like once or twice, I noticed, and that was really it. Like it really happened once or twice, but it was enough for me to kind of scratch my head and be like, huh, okay. I do have nostalgia glasses for Sonic Adventure 2, just like a lot of other people. I played so much of Sonic Adventure 2 when I got it for the GameCube. I got Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I remember getting it as a Christmas gift. I believe that was 2001, so about 23 years ago, which that makes my bones hurt a little bit. But I feel like people with nostalgia for Sonic Adventure 2 are going to be very happy because there's a lot of Easter eggs, there's a lot of references, and they're paying respect to the source material. I will say that they're not afraid to change the story. But the way they change the story in the movie always feels like it's in a good way. Things in video games don't necessarily translate very well into movies. That's a problem that a lot of video game movies run into. You can't really translate game mechanics into something for the big screen very easily sometimes, and this adaptation doesn't necessarily even try to do that. They don't try to make things overly complex. They adapt everything still, though, in a way that feels respectful and mindful. This movie feels like a movie that was made for Sonic fans because they put a lot of thought into it, and you can tell. You can tell there's just a lot of little things that it's like whoever wrote this knew what they were writing and they are very familiar with the source material. There's just little things here and there, but it's enough to build an experience that feels like, yeah, like this is a screen adaptation of a very beloved story, and it has the same spirit as that original version of the story. None of the Sonic movies are one-to-ones of the source material, and this one isn't either. But I think we all kind of knew that from the trailer. The trailer spoils something pretty big that is not in the games, and that's kind of an indicator that they're taking the story of Sonic Adventure 2 and they're going in a different direction from it. And again, they do it in a way that feels good for the big screen, feels respectful, and it doesn't feel overly complex while also not feeling too simplistic. They struck a very nice balance. While I could see some people maybe being disappointed in some of the changes, I feel like I trust the writers with this. I feel like everything they changed was just objectively a good idea to change. It may have just not translated very well, or it may have just been too complex for a movie that has a 1 hour and 30-minute runtime. I did say some criticisms that I had were about the writing and that there was a plot thing here or there that didn't really make a whole lot of sense if you started thinking about it. Those things definitely kind of start bringing the movie down slightly. Not enough to really like hamper one's experience though, watching it. I feel like some of these writing things that were a little bit wonky could have been fixed with like one extra scene put in, just like explaining one little thing. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, people really go into the Sonic movies kind of just for like a fun time, not really to have like a super deep plot. And so I kind of forgive them a little bit for some weird choices. I really do wish they'd fix one or two things, though. I'll talk about that in the spoiler video. With regard, though, to plot stuff in this movie, I do feel very happy with how they handled Shadow and Maria. That is a huge thing for the Sonic fandom, is the whole Shadow and Maria thing. There's a lot of media right now for kids that whenever I look at it, I kind of feel like it's been sanitized, where the writers feel afraid to talk about certain topics, especially sadder topics or deeper topics. And I'm really happy to report that they treat everything plot-wise in this movie with the respect and seriousness that I think it deserves. And they're not afraid to go down these sort of like deeper discussions about things, you know? And I was really worried that, you know, some stuff was going to get glazed over. I don't want to say too much, but they do handle deeper conversations, darker and deeper subjects really well, and that made me very happy. Unfortunately, I don't think I can say much more without delving into spoiler territory, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap things up right here. I definitely give this movie like a solid, I would say A+. I would definitely say A+. A few little writing tweaks here and there kind of, you know, knocks the overall score, but ever so slightly. Everything else is just so enjoyable, and I really do think this could be the first movie in, oh gosh, almost a decade that I go to see again in theaters. It made me feel something in this otherwise rough and cold winter. One piece of advice, stay the whole way through the credits. All the way to the end. All the way to the end. Until there's no more credits rolling and the dudes are there to clean up the theater. Stay. Trust me, it's worth it. But that's all from me for now. I do have one thing I need to say before we end the video. If you missed the announcement, I am now partnered with GamerSupps, and with code Amalia, you can get 10% off of your order. If you are unfamiliar with GamerSupps, it is a gaming energy drink mix that you can get. There are tubs of many different flavors. So many flavors, more flavors than you could possibly imagine, including my new favorite, Guacamole Gamer Fart 9000, which, yes, that is a flavor. Yes, I put guacamole gamer farts in my mouth and I would gladly do it again. GamerSupps does have 0 sugar, it is keto friendly, and there are caffeinated versions and non-caffeinated versions. We love to see it. I get sponsorship offers almost every day, I'll be honest. I almost never take them because I used to work in marketing, and I know what it's like to push a product that you don't love. And now that I'm my own boss, I only take sponsorships from products that I adore. I would not be sitting here today telling you about GamerSupps if I was not passionate about it. So with that being said, check out the link in the description and get yourself some yummy, yummy beverages. Check out GamerSupps, use code Amalia, and have a nice day. I'm gonna go record the spoilery video now. See ya! What did you find that was interesting? Oh. I hate how jank these fights are. They're so excuse me. Have you seen the whole game? I have seen the whole game. I watched Danny play it, and I think I watched Bumby play it. Type. What? Huh?